Hello and welcome to the Journey's End Housing Orientation. I will be guiding you through the important information concerning housing and renting property in the United States and in Buffalo. Today we will talk about your apartment, basic safety, leases, utilities, rent, landlord and tenant responsibilities, temporary housing, and the moving process. You may have experience with renting apartments where you came from, which is great. We want to make sure everyone has the same information about renting an apartment here in the U.S. It is important for your apartment to have windows and doors that lock, a working toilet, working heat and electricity, a bathtub or shower with cold and hot water in the kitchen, no bugs or rats, a refrigerator and stove that works and is clean, no bare wiring, no peeling paint or mold. Let's talk about what this means. Your windows and doors should close all the way. Glass should not be broken or cracked. Here are some examples of window and door locks you might see in your apartment. Your toilet should flush every time you press the handle. Be careful to only flush bodily waste and toilet paper. Do not flush diapers, wipes, or sanitary pads down the toilet. Diapers, wipes, and sanitary pads will clog the toilet and it could overflow. Keep a small trash can next to the toilet and dispose of these items in the bin instead. If your heat or lights are not working, contact your landlord or case manager immediately. Your apartment should have a working thermostat. Keep this thermostat no higher than 70 degrees. If you keep your heat above 70, your gas bill will be very high. Wear sweaters and socks in the house if you are cold. In many houses, it will also take a while for the heat to adjust to the thermostat. Wait a while before raising or lowering it again, or you might make it too hot or too cold. Your house should not have any bare wiring. Bare wiring refers to any uninsulated wire coming from the wall or light sockets. These wires may have an electrical charge and could hurt someone. Be extra careful of extra cable wire as well. Cable wire is usually black or white, and it comes from the wall near the floor. Extra cable wire could be dangerous for your children. Keep it and them away from it. Your home should have a working bathtub and or shower with cold and hot water. Your kitchen sink should also have hot and cold water coming from the faucet. If your hot water is not working, let your landlord or case manager know. If there is a leak in your shower or under your sink, let your landlord know immediately. Your home should have a working refrigerator and a working stove. The refrigerator should keep your food at a cold enough temperature, and there should not be any mold inside. The stove and oven should turn on by the knobs. You should not have to light it with a match. Make sure the stove and oven are off when not in use. If you accidentally leave the gas on without a flame, it could fill your house up with flammable natural gas that is very dangerous and can make you feel sick. There should be no peeling paint or mold anywhere inside your home. Peeling paint and mold are health hazards to both you and your children. Do not let your children eat peeling paint or paint chips that have fallen to the floor. The paint chips may contain lead, which is poisonous and can cause permanent brain damage. If you see mold in your home, mold spores are likely in the air you are breathing in. This can make you feel very sick. If you have peeling paint or mold, let your landlord and case manager know immediately. There should not be any bugs or rodents in your home. It is important to take care in preventing bugs or rodents from entering your home. Do not leave food out. Keep food in the refrigerator or in the cupboards in containers. Line your trash cans with a plastic bag, and every time the bag becomes full, you should tie it up and put in the large blue tote outside. In addition, do not take any furniture from the street or sidewalk into your home. It might have bed bugs or cockroaches in it. Bed bugs and cockroaches are hard to spot sometimes, so it is best to be cautious and not take any furniture from the street, even if it looks okay. Place garbage in a metal or plastic can with a lid, and a plastic bag inside for easy disposal. Once a plastic bag is full of garbage, put it in one of the blue totes outside. Take the blue totes to the curb for garbage day. The totes will usually be brought to the curb the night before. Every home should have smoke detectors. There should be one in the living room and one outside each bedroom. When there is a lot of smoke, such as during a fire, they will loudly screech to alert you. If the smoke detector is chirping like a bird, that means the battery needs to be replaced. Most take a 9-volt battery. Some take AA batteries. You will have to check. You may be tempted to take the battery out of a smoke detector if it goes off when you are cooking. It can be annoying sometimes, but you and your family's safety is most important, and a smoke detector could save your life in the event of a fire, so make sure the detectors are working properly at all times. It is important to be aware and alert when you walk around the city. Do not carry around large amounts of money and avoid walking alone at night if possible. It is important to follow traffic laws to stay safe. Only cross the street at the crosswalk, which is shown here on the bottom right, if there is one available. Wait for the light to be green. If there is no street light, look for the stop signs and make eye contact with drivers to make sure they see you. Lock your windows and doors when you leave the house and at night when you are asleep. If your door or window breaks, tell your landlord and case manager immediately. Do not let children hang out of windows or on an upstairs porch unsupervised. Do not sign any papers you do not understand. If someone comes to your door to tell you they can help you lower your gas or electric bills, do not sign anything. Bring any mail or papers you do not understand to your case manager. If there is a fire, leave the house right away and alert your neighbors. Make sure everyone in your house leaves. Call 911, tell them your address and that there is a fire. If you do not have a phone, shout, "Fire!" and 911. Someone with a phone can then call 911. Your smoke detectors should screech loudly if there is a fire. A lease is an agreement between you and the landlord which allows you to live in the apartment and pay a certain amount of rent every month. Your lease will also state which utilities are included in the rent and if you have any specific responsibilities as a tenant, such as snow removal. It is a written document signed by both you and the landlord. You must be able to read and understand the lease. Do not sign the lease if you do not understand. Ask your case manager or a community member to help. When you sign a lease, you will also probably have to give the landlord a security deposit. A security deposit is money the landlord collects and is used as insurance that you will take good care of the property as the tenant. It is usually a month's rent. When you leave an apartment, you will usually receive this money back as long as you leave the apartment clean without any damage. Now let's talk a little bit about rent, which is the monthly fee you pay to the landlord to live in the apartment. Rent is usually due on the first day of every month. You and your landlord will decide how much rent is and when it is due. Make sure you pay your rent on time each month. You can pay with a check, money order, or cash. Always get a receipt from your landlord. If you are paying with money order, it is best to give it to your landlord directly. You can arrange for the landlord to pick up your rent payment. Always save the receipt from purchasing a money order. Typically, in the city of Buffalo, rent prices range from $700 for a studio to $1,600 per month for a 4-bedroom, depending on the size of the unit and number of bedrooms, but prices are usually higher in the surrounding towns. Some landlords may require a credit check and a proof of income. You gain credit by paying bills on time. But as new immigrants, you will not have any credit. Unfortunately, it is unlikely that a landlord or management company requiring credit checks will rent to you until your credit is established. Also, remember that your first house in the United States doesn't need to be your last one. Renting gives you the flexibility to move throughout Buffalo and the United States once your lease is finished. Utilities include essentials such as water, electricity, cooking gas, gas for heat, and internet that you pay monthly when you live in an apartment. National Fuel is a local gas company, and National Grid is a local electric company. Typically in Buffalo, water is included in the rent, but not always. Remember to check your lease. When you arrive, Journey's End begins gas and electric service at your new home for you. You are responsible for paying the utility bills unless the cost is included in your rent. Your responsibilities will be written in your lease agreement, and your landlord will tell you. You are responsible for setting up cable TV and internet. You can also get in contact with your case manager or community member, and they can help you set it up. If you move, you must turn off service at your old apartment and turn on service at your new apartment. In the United States, the tenant and the landlord have certain responsibilities towards each other. It is the landlord's responsibility to make repairs when necessary and to provide general upkeep of the apartment you are renting. It is your responsibility as a tenant to pay your rent on time, pay your utility bills on time, and to make sure to keep your apartment clean and in a good state of good repair. Make sure you know your landlord's phone number and address and how to contact your landlord in an emergency. Often in Buffalo, it is also the tenant's responsibility to shovel the sidewalks in front of the house when it snows. The lease will say if that is the case, and the landlord usually provides a snow shovel and salt to spread on the ground to prevent icing. Living in a community also comes with responsibilities that neighbors have towards each other. Everyone needs to show respect for their neighbors, which includes being quiet, not letting your children bang on walls or run around in the apartment, and not playing loud music or slamming doors. Rules about noise can be found in your lease. Quiet hours are usually from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. every day. Do not throw garbage in the street, yard, or hallway. Always dispose of garbage in a garbage can. As a tenant, you also have certain rights given to you by the United States government, the state of New York, and the city of Buffalo. Note that if you move somewhere else, you may have more or fewer rights as a tenant. The landlord is not allowed to come into your apartment without giving you 24 hours notice unless it is an emergency, like a fire or water leak. You are also allowed to complain about bad or dangerous conditions. The landlord should be willing to fix anything in your apartment that is dangerous or not safe. You cannot be evicted before the end of your lease unless you do not pay rent or significantly break the terms of your lease. The landlord must give you a formal written notice before involving the court system. A landlord is prohibited from any action intended to force a tenant out of their home. This includes physical or verbal abuse. willful denial of services or utilities, disruptive construction or renovation projects that interfere with the health, safety, or use of the home, repeated baseless lawsuits, purposefully misrepresenting the law to a tenant. No one can refuse to rent to you because of your national origin, age, marital status, religion, or the number of children you have. This is discrimination, and it is illegal. Let your case manager know if you feel you are being discriminated against or harassed by your landlord. Due to a large influx of arrivals, many people will have to stay in a hotel or other temporary housing for 1 to 2 months. Many of your expectations should stay the same: working appliances and a safe, clean living space. Many of the rules are also the same, like respecting your neighbors and making sure that household waste is disposed of properly. Some rules are different. However, a list of rules and an orientation will be provided for you when you check in. You should listen to the hotel staff and ask them any questions you may have. You can also ask your case manager if you have any questions. There may come a time when you would like to move out of your apartment and into another one, either within Buffalo or somewhere else in the United States. This is a perfectly good option, but there are some things you should know about the moving process. If you decide to move, you must give your landlord 30 days' notice, a full month from the first month. It is best to do so in writing. There is a form letter in your orientation folder. If you do not give 30 days' notice, you will probably not get your security deposit back. You must pay your rent for the final month you will be living at your old apartment. You cannot use your security deposit for rent. You should consider the expenses associated with moving, including the security deposit, any increase in rent or utilities, and the cost of the actual move if you need to rent a truck or pay movers. Plan and save accordingly. It is important to remember that you will need to inform Homeland Security of your change of address and get a new landlord statement for social services. Make sure to talk to your case manager and follow the guidelines for moving. When you arrive, Journey's End provides some essential furnishings for you: a bed for each person, a couch, a table with chairs, some lamps. Other items you must purchase for yourself, such as a TV or computer, a rug, or another couch. Journey's End finds one apartment for you. If you want to move, you will have to find another apartment for yourself. If you would like to move, make sure to fill out the moving checklist in your folder. Remember, you will also have to turn on utilities at your new apartment. You will also have to pay a new security deposit to your new landlord before you get the old one back, and you will have to give your landlord 30 days' notice before you move.